Hi, in this video we will show you how to register an instructor account on Revas website and how to use it as a Revas Business Simulation certified instructor. The instructor account is intended for teachers, lecturers and trainers who run their courses with Revas Business Simulation Games. Go to revas.online and select the register button. Then choose the account type. Remember that this video is intended for instructors, that is teachers, lecturers and trainers. So select the instructor button. You will see a registration form where you provide the data needed to register your account. Enter your name and email address. Come up with a password that you will use to log into your account from now on. Read and accept the terms and conditions and the information about processing of the personal data. Finally, press the Create button. After creating an instructor account and logging into the system, you will be able to order and manage your games. The view and available options will be different, depending on the license your institution has. This video shows how to use the instructor panel in the case of the accounts with the active licenses. If your institution has already purchased access to Revas games, but after logging into your account you see a different panel, contact us at contact@revas.pl. Now let's go through all the elements of the instructor panel step by step. On the first screen, which you will see immediately after logging in, information about your license and games. You can check the modules you have within your license, how many days are left until the end of the license, and the number of available license keys. On the right hand side you will find buttons to share your opinion about the simulations. We will be delighted if you write your opinion after testing the simulations. Below in the My Games section you will find all the games that you have ordered. Next to every game you will find a start date, it's the date when the game was ordered by the instructor, game name, you enter it during ordering process to identify a particular group, game type, it's the industry that you have chosen for the game language, number of teams participating in a given simulation, current round of this game, and the next column is a round schedule. It can be used to move the game forward automatically, and later in this video we will tell you more about this. Next one is license keys. After clicking on the red key icon you will see the game ID and the license keys for participants of this game. You can find out more about this in a separate video about ordering games. Then we have more actions section. After clicking the C button, you can archive completed games and download certificates for the players if you have the certificate module in your license and students meet certain criteria. The last column contains Enter the Game buttons. These buttons will take you to management panel of a particular game. If your list of ordered games is long, you can use the search engine in the upper right corner of this table to quickly find a particular group. Now let's go through the individual items in the menu. We're currently in My Games section, so let's move on to the next button, that is Order Game. You can order new game for your groups here. To order a game, you have to select the license and the industry first, and then set its detailed parameters. The entire game ordering and management process is presented in a separate video, How to Order Games. Materials is the next button in the menu. After going to the Materials tab, you will see simulation guides, video tutorials and other useful files. The next button in the menu is the Players list. In this tab you can search for an individual player among all participants of your games and check which games they take part in. The option is helpful if as an instructor you run simulations for several or even a dozen groups and the player sends a query without indicating what game it's about and without their team's name. In this case, you can quickly search for the simulation that player is assigned to and enter these games. As instructors, you can also check the ranking of all virtual companies participating in business simulation games. Go to the Global Ranking tab in order to see the top 3 companies among all teams that have participated in the simulation so far. Select a simulation and then the round. You will see the results in the scorecard of top 3 teams in the entire market. The ranking changes dynamically, depending on the results of the teams participating in the simulations. Only the top 3 teams from all the teams participating in the simulations are displayed in a ranking. Players can also check the ranking in their panels and they will also see their position. The next tab is the Contact Form tab. You can quickly send inquiry to Revas there. Enter the subject, write the message and confirm by clicking the Send button. Remember that if your message concerns a particular game, it's worth mentioning its name in the text so that we can find it quickly. Additionally, above the menu buttons, you will find your profile with the information you provided during the registration process. You can edit your details there, add a photo, add a number so that we can contact you quickly, and you can also change the password of your account there. In the top right corner of your screen, you will also see a contact button where you can find a phone number to our support team. We have already gone through all the buttons available in the main menu, so let's move on to managing the games. All the games you order will appear sequentially on the My Games tab below the information about your license. To manage a particular game, select Enter the Game button. Let's enter one of these games then. After entering a particular game, you will see a panel to manage it. At the top of the page, you can see a title of the game that you are managing at the moment. All decisions made in this tab concern only this one group of players. Let us now discuss the elements and the menu's items step by step. The first section is the game panel. Here you will find a list of the teams taking part in this game. Some information about them, as well as the most important, buttons for advising the game, locking access to it, setting the schedule, and generating a report. Let's start with the table. In the first column you will find the names of all teams participating in this game. The next column tells you which round the game is in at the moment. Then you see the current result of every team, that is the business result on the scorecard from the previous round. Team status tells you if the team is online at the moment. Inactive status means that no team member is currently logged into the simulation. If the status is active, it means that at least one of the participants is currently logged into the game. The next column shows the teams have submitted their decisions. The gear icon means that the team has not sent the decision yet. It might mean that this team has not finished yet or has already made the decisions, but has not used the submit decision button yet. The tick symbol means that this team has finished making decisions for this round and has submitted them. In the players column, you will find information about the composition of all teams. Use the C button and you can check which players are part of every team, how much time they have already spent in the simulation, and the last login time. The last column is the team preview. Next to every team, you have a C button which allows you to enter this team's game. The instructor then becomes a member of a selected team, which means they can see the simulation the same way as the teams sees it. They can view the team's decision and the results and make decisions as if they were one of the members. This option is very helpful and useful in two situations especially. The first case is when the instructor wants to present the game to their participants. If you want to discuss and show the decisions from a given round or discuss the results together with the participants, just use the C button to enter any team. The second situation is checking the decisions and the results of the particular team. For example, if the team comes to you with a question about the results, you can go inside their games and analyze their situation. After completing the activity on the account of the given team, return to Instructor panel using the Return to Instructors panel button at the top of the page. Now let's see the buttons available above the table. The first two buttons, that is Advance to the next round and the round schedule, are related to advancing the game to the next round. As instructors, you can choose if you want to advance the game manually after every round is finished, or if you want to set a schedule which will automatically advance the game at the time. Let us discuss them one by one. After pressing the Advance to Next Round button, the game will be moved one round forward. Remember that we advance the game to the next round for all teams at the same time, and it's not possible for one of the teams to have, for example, more time to submit the decision of the round while other teams will already be making decisions in the next round. What happens then if we advance the simulation to the next round and not all teams submitted their decisions, meaning they don't have the green tick in the column Teams that completed current round? Well, the game will be advanced and the system will count everything it can. It means that if a team made all the decisions but didn't click the Submit Decisions button, everything will be counted and there will be no negative consequences. However, if a team did not make any decisions or did not finish making them, the system will take into consideration available information only. In such case, it may turn out that, for example, cost will be charged and there will be no revenues. So it's important to remember that the teams which did not submit their decision do not hold the game back and that we are advancing all the teams at the same time. If you click Round Schedule button, you will see a new window where you can set the exact date and the time to advance every round. You can set a date for only one round or set the dates for all rounds at once. At the selected time, the system will automatically advance all teams to the next round. Remember though to check if the system identified your time zone properly. You can check your time zone at the top of this window. Let's summarize both forms of advancing to the next round. The schedule will work best in the games are planned in advance. For example, in the case of internships or competitions, or if we arrange a deadline with the players. For example, after completing the lessons, students have time until the end of the day to finish the round. So in the schedule, we can set to move the game forward at midnight. Advancing the game manually will be better for courses where you have an ongoing contact with players, such as traditional or online lessons, because then you have more flexibility. You can, for example, give teams a few more minutes per round if they need it. Remember that advancing the rounds must be done only one way, either manually or by setting the schedule. If you advance the game manually, don't set the schedule and vice versa. Finally, a very important information about advancing games is that if you decided to advance the game to the next round, the decisions cannot be undone. You can only advance game forward. If you accidentally go too far with advancing the game, please contact us. The next button is to lock the game. It allows you to lock the access to the simulation for players. After locking the game, participants will not be able to make any decisions. They will only see a screen saying that the game has been locked by the instructor. Until you unlock the game with the same button, players will not be able to do anything in the simulations. This button may be useful in two situations. The first is when you present the decisions and discuss the results. If, for example, you want your students to listen to an explanation of what to do in the particular round or to show them the results, you can lock the game to make sure they are listening and not playing at the moment. The second situation is when you run out of the time during one lesson and you don't want your students to do anything at home because you will continue during the next meeting. You lock the game then to make sure no one does the material for the next meeting at home. Locking the game is optional, and if you don't need it, you don't have to use this button at all. The next option is Set Results Only View. By using this button, you can disable players from making any decisions, that is, all decisions tabs will disappear and only the results tabs will remain visible. This mode can be useful when players are making decisions too fast without analyzing the results of the previous round. To turn the decisions making mode on again, use the same button. This feature is also optional. Changing the module into the results view is possible starting from round number 3. The last button is Generate Report. It will be visible if your license includes the Game Report module. By using this button, you can generate a document confirming the results achieved by all teams participating in the simulation. The report will show you cumulative scorecards from the last completed round for the entire market, as well as information about all teams such as their composition and results from the scorecard round by round. Downloading the report is possible starting from round number 4. Additionally, in the top of the menu, next to the Game Panel button, you will find several additional features. The first one is Results button. You will find a scorecard and cumulative scorecard there. This is exactly the same view which players see under the scorecard button in the simulation. The next button is the Financial Report. Here you can quickly check the financial reports of all teams for the previous round as well as the cumulative report. Just like in the previous options, this is exactly the same view that players can find after going into the Financial Report tab. The next two buttons are for adding financial penalties or financial rewards. You can choose to reward all or selected teams with a specific amount of money or to punish them with the financial penalties. To do this, select a team, click the plus button in the Add a Financial Penalty or Add a Financial Reward column, enter a description and the value. The penalty or reward added in this way will appear in the team's finance in the next round. The allocation of the financial penalties and reward is optional. However, it can be useful when, for instance, teams fail to meet deadlines or simply to improve the market situation. The last option is Emails to Teams. In the Sending Emails tab, you can quickly send an email to either all players or selected teams or the individual member of the particular team. Choose the recipients of the message, enter the subject and the content, and confirm it with the Send button at the bottom of the page. In the History tab, you will see all messages sent to this game group. To return to the My Games section, that is the list of all your games, select the Return to the List of Games button. These were all options of the Instructor panel. Remember that you can find the details about ordering new games in another video. See you later.